Oh, crazy.
Hello? Oh, where you gone? There you are.
I'm on again. Hey, by gum.
So what do you know then, mate?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
No.
But, yeah, this is our little West Highland Way podcast
Yeah.
/ Q&A, whatever you want to call it.
What you been doing since you've been busy? How's the house coming along?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Right, okay, fair enough.
We'll see what goes on. But yeah, not a lot. Hoping to go out camping this week.
Yeah, where you going?
Thinking the lakes.
Right.
On Tuesday night maybe, but we will see.
Yeah.
Depends on weather and work and things like that. But that is the plan, to get out wild camping. Little solo one, because it's been a year.
Oh, yeah. I'm having a beer anyway. Cheers.
Oh, that's nice for you. Do you know what I've got?
Go on.
Blackcurrant.
A cheeky hobgoblin session IPA. Strong
Beautiful.
stuff. 3.4%.
Beautiful drinking, eh? Beautiful drinking. Well, yeah, how have you been then?
Yeah, good. I'll tell you what, it seems a long time ago now, doesn't it? Since we were traipsing those mountains in Scotland.
It's like,
No, I suppose it was. What is it? It must be
5 weeks, 6 weeks.
5 weeks, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Time flies, brother.
I'll tell you what, we dropped well with the weather, didn't we? I mean, we could have had another week afterwards. And then after that, it's just been shocking, hasn't it?
Yeah. I said, before we went, I'd said to everyone, all I want is a week, a full 7 days of dry weather, and then it can bounce down for the rest of May.
I wasn't even as greedy as that. I literally just wanted day 5 and day 6.
Yeah.
Decent. As long as I got day 5 and day 6 decent weather, that's all I was after. So to get a full week as it was, it was just
Unbelievable.
Couldn't have planned it any better, could we?
So lucky. But yeah, so still little. I didn't really make many notes. I just thought we'd chat about through what we did, how we got there, what went about. So obviously we set off the Sunday, 4th of May.
Sunday the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you.
Well, may the 4th be with you. A short trip from Liverpool to Fleetwood for me.
Yeah.
And then slightly more arduous drive for yourself.
Free parking for a week for you. Happy days.
Yeah. It was
12 quid for 24 hours in the Lake District.
Oh yeah. When I got back to Fleetwood, I was surprised I didn't have £100 fine.
Hey up, we've got people in.
Oh, people will drop in, drop out, but it will be like a watchable video on your channel.
Yeah.
So that'll be fine. So yeah, so we off to Mulgai. What did it take us? About 4 hours, 5 hours. 4 hours from yours, something like that.
No, about 3 hours, wasn't it? Just over 3.
Yeah, with a stop in that though. So
Hey up, Production Darts TV.
Yeah, a smooth trip, wasn't it, to get to Mulgai?
Yeah.
Checked in. Premier Inn.
You can't go wrong with Premier Inn, can you?
Premium in. It was what, about 70 quid each, something like that, with a breakfast, which I thought was
something like that, yeah.
Please shout me out. Who's that? Can you see anything? Alana, shout out to you. Thanks for watching. Yeah, so landed there, checked in, got sorted, got out on the Toon for a few bevies.
Well, it was more of a it was more of a recce, really, wasn't it? Really, just kind of find out where we were going.
Start points.
Morning, so we weren't adding another 6 mile onto it by walking around in circles, not knowing where we were going. So it was pretty straightforward, though, in the end, wasn't it?
What did we clock it as? Less than half a mile or so, wasn't it?
Yeah, just shy of half a mile, wasn't it?
Yeah, so yeah, we had a few beers, walked back, had a bit of food at the pub, joined to the Premier Inn. You had a banging fish and chips, I believe, and I had a terrible
microwave curry.
Ding curry. Then that was it, wasn't it? Early night.
It was, yeah.
Pints, more pints than we probably expected to have. Oh, should have had.
Yeah, to be honest. Yeah.
But it was my birthday after all, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Birthday
We knew
pints.
we didn't have a late. We knew we didn't have a late start, an early start in the morning, didn't we? So
yeah, so we were easy going. So up in the morning, Premier Inn breakfast, which was banging, wasn't it? You ordered whatever you wanted, didn't you? It was good. And then we were off, weren't we?
We were off.
What?
You definitely were, because you started your watch from the moment we left the hotel.
Yeah. What, a 15-minute walk or something? 20 minutes to the start line.
15, 20 minutes, yeah.
And then we were away, weren't we? It was about 10:30. I want to say something around that, 10:30, 11ish. And then we were off ski from the world famous Mulgai Town Centre.
Little did we know, Alex, Sean, and Ewan were there at the same time.
Yeah, they set off just before us.
But they took our picture, didn't they? Or they took
I think we took their picture.
We took their picture, was it?
And then they just went.
Went.
And then we had a selfie and a few bits, didn't we? And filmed a bit, and we did all that YouTube malarkey.
Yeah.
And then, we were off then. So that was it, wasn't it? Off first day.
First day, what, about 12 miles?
Oh, 12 miles, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Stunning day. Beautiful weather. One stop, like, I know we had a couple of breaks, but there was the one real stop, which was at the beach
tree, yeah, where we met Steve,
which I thought was outrageously
five Scottish pounds for a can of lager.
I come out and I was like, it's cost me like 18 quid, that. Three cans of Tennent's and a bloody can of pop or something.
What did Steve say? He wouldn't. What did Steve say?
Well, he wouldn't cook with it, but he drank it.
Speaking of the best man, I believe he's on the West Island Way as we speak.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, he after I released my pack video, it must have encouraged him. He needed to get it done, so he packed his bag, and I think he was heading off. What day we on? Tuesday, yesterday, I think.
Legend.
So he's trying to do it in 5. Well, he said he's got to do it in 5 days because he's over in, I think he said Torridon at the next weekend. So yeah. So I've messaged him today. To see how's he getting on, but he hasn't come back to me as yet. Very rude, because we know full well there's signal all the way through the trail.
Yeah. Hopefully he absolutely smashes it and he gets the decent weather.
Yeah.
But so that was about halfway through day one, wasn't it? And then we stopped at.
I mean, to be fair, it was pricey, but it's going to be pricey. Slap bang on the middle of the West Island Way, isn't it?
Yeah, we called it West Island Way tax, didn't we?
Yeah.
So anything
it was not going to be anything. I mean, but you're on holiday, aren't you? So you just
yeah.
Pay for it.
Yeah. So West Island Way
tax.
Then we stopped at the Honesty Box for an ice cream.
Yes, at Gartner's.
Yeah, and then it was a mere couple of miles then to our campsite.
Drummond camping, cracking little campsite that.
Yeah, so I think it was 15. It was £15 or just below, wasn't it, for the campsite?
Yeah, I can't remember what the campsites were. There was one that was only 12, I think, and then the others were like one was 16, and then the other two were 15, I think, something like that.
Yeah, so I think that one was 12.
Yeah, I think that was the cheap one. But
yes, but it had everything you needed,
everything
didn't
you needed.
it? Cheap and cheap.
Yeah. Very,
Walking
very
to
courteous fellow campers
town.
who got there before us and took the worst of the pitches and left us with the best ones.
Left it with the flat pitches near the amenities.
Yeah.
German town. What are we saying? Half an hour's walk, was it? Something like that. 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say 20 minutes with proper shoes on, half an hour with flip flops.
With flipper floppers on. With limp on. But so we walked into town. We went into the local inn and got ourselves some food. Pizzas, I think. I remember.
Brimming in.
Nice pizzas.
Yeah.
4 pints, and then walked back. And we didn't really do much that night, did we?
No.
Couple of pints.
Well, I think it must have been gone 9 o'clock when we got back to the campsite.
Yeah.
So and it was a lot of travel. It was a lot of so we just got an early night, didn't we?
Yeah, we'd had a few beers the day before as well, hadn't we? So
yeah,
I think it was just a 10 o'clock-ish night, wasn't it? I think. I don't think we stayed up. So that was day one boxed off.
Day one.
Day two was breakfast.
Day two was a similar sort of distance, wasn't it? So we knew really that we didn't have another massive day. So and it probably worked out well because there was an overnight frost, wasn't there? So the tents were a bit wet. So we managed to hang around and dry the tents off a bit before we set off.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we were last to leave camp, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. I don't think there was anyone there, and I think they were kind of hanging on as if to say, "Will you two
bugger off?" Yeah, we've got stuff to do.
We've got stuff to do, and you're just loitering.
Yeah.
So they got us, but yeah. So you're obviously on the trail.
Literally, yeah.
You're still on the trail up the road towards Conic wasn't it? But
yeah, we didn't need. You can't as you go over the little bridge. If you need to go into Drimmen, you just carry on up the road. But we didn't need to, did we? So we just
carried on
and took the little stile over down and through the field,
through the sheeps and coos up to the
cows. Yeah, you trying to wind the cows up.
Yeah,
it's on your video. You're mooing to the cows. Now I'm going. Will you stop trying to wind them up?
They're friendly Scottish cows. They're not. But yeah, so we had a couple of hours up to Conic didn't we?
Yeah, and obviously we always made whether we did Conic or not was always going to be dependent on the weather. Phil Ashington, cow fear is real.
Cow fear is real. Me and Phil have discussed this in the past, and cow fear is real. 4.5 people die by being trampled to death by cows a year.
I know, yeah. I think our cows are like the Aussies. Aussies have crocodiles. We have cows, don't we?
Yeah, cows. Cows. But what we had a break on the way up there. Straight up to Conic absolutely no danger. Yeah. Went to the top as well, which some people bypass the top, don't they?
If the weather's good, I don't see how you can't not go up there. The views from up there are spectacular, aren't they?
Phenomenal. So we went to both peaks as well.
Both tops, yeah.
Both tops, unbelievable views down the new path.
Yeah. Which isn't for the faint-hearted, is it? It's a lovely path, but my God, it's steep.
Steep and hard work.
I didn't read anything in any guidebooks how steep that was.
No, it was steep. So we shot down there, didn't we, into Toon for burgers.
And what a burger that was.
Unbelievable.
Beef burger and haggis.
Haggis burger was awesome, wasn't it?
With the peppercorn sauce.
Peppercorn sauce, couple of pints, but this was the killer because we thought it was.
We literally thought we were done for the day.
20 minutes away or something, didn't we? And there was another couple, like it felt like a couple of miles, and there was a couple of big steep pull. There was at least one big steep pull, wasn't there?
Straight out of Balmoral.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, absolutely stuck. But yeah, so we were off to Cashel campsite, which was fine, wasn't it?
Brilliant. Again, another cracking campsite. Had what you needed. We knew. It's worth people knowing that there isn't any kind of eating facilities at Cashel or around Cashel. So we decided, didn't we? We're going to have our main meal in Balmoral at the Oak Tree Inn. And then did we have one of our camping meals that night? I think we did.
I think we sat in that. So they have like a shelter, don't they? That's like communal shelter. So I think we got under there, didn't we? And had
people. It's worth knowing that. Don't be expecting at Cashel. Don't be expecting somewhere to get a proper meal.
Yeah, they do have food there because they have a shop, but it is $6.
They do, yeah. But it's for you cooking yourself.
Yeah. But so we had the camp meals there. Next morning.
Hi, Kate.
Hello. But next morning.
Oh, boo boo. I'm here all week.
The next day, wasn't it? That next morning, day 3. And had our breakfast on site. Got midget.
I think that was the only time of the week that the midges bothered us, wasn't it?
The only 2 times I can remember was that morning when we were putting the tents away, because there was a little stream that ran through the campsite, and the last night.
Oh yeah, the Saturday night in Kinlochleven.
Yeah, when we were trying to eat
our Chinese.
Yeah, so we'll get to that, right? But day 3, probably my favourite day.
Yeah, and we knew this was going to be
2 days. It was that day.
And day 5.
Or day 5, but
yeah,
one of the best days hiking, even though it was so challenging that I've ever had.
Yeah,
it was like blistering heat. The whole length of Loch Lomond we walked down, didn't we?
Yeah, and that. Before that, don't forget we had our breakfast back burger at the Rowan Den.
So that's what I mean. We ate like kings all day, didn't we? So we stopped at the first boozer and had breakfast palm. Did another 8 mile or something to the second Inverness hotel, which was mint, wasn't it? Unbelievable food there.
Yeah.
And that was like halfway through the day.
Yeah.
Then
it's worth letting people know that there's always this big thing, isn't there, between the high and the low path?
Yeah.
And people make it sound like if you take the high path, you avoid all the trouble.
Which you don't.
You avoid a couple of miles.
And that isn't even that bad, that first section.
No, it's the bit after the hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the bit after the hotel where it gets difficult.
Yeah.
How people do it on mountain bikes is beyond me. But
Donnie, you're mad. Donnie and Jamie, how they did that on mountain bikes. I've watched their video again, and I can't believe. Fair play to them.
So they must do some. It must be hard to get them up the likes of those wooden steps and stuff.
I know,
looking them up to each other, but
I know.
The food was unbelievable. That sandwich we had, and another couple of pints.
Tuna butter and cheesy chips, another couple of pints. There's a theme brewing here, isn't there?
I know, yeah. You always have to have 2 when there's 2 of you. But we had our wild paddle at the end of what we thought was the end of Loch Lomond.
We thought again was not far from the end.
Which wasn't. I reckon we must have had 4 miles after that.
Oh, easy.
Like it.
And I don't know about you, because we partied then, didn't we? Because
about a mile after that, I told you to crack on, didn't I?
Yeah, I batted on to get a couple of decent pitches. But like, I don't know what you thought, but you got to the point where I knew we were only like half a mile, 3/4 of a mile from the campsite. But you look down and you seem to be still about 500 meters in the sky.
Yeah,
I'm
you just
thinking,
thought,
this campsite's not too far away. We're still pretty high up here.
yeah, where's the flat land that all these tents are going to be?
And then you
So
just,
yeah, I was a bit like that. I don't think I've ever been as happy to see tents.
yeah, no, yeah, yeah. It was a long
When I
old,
walked around,
but we were, to be fair, we were prepared for it, weren't we? We
oh, we
knew
did.
that was going to
Yeah,
be. We knew that was going to be our first of our 2 big days. And again, because of the weather, uh, kind of the views and the weather made it probably easier. I mean, if it was lashing it down with rain, that'd have been brutal, that section.
I think,
I think
like
you said it like a couple of times. You've got to be really careful where you're putting your foot in, because it could have been like a trail ender, couldn't it? One foot in could have just finished it.
dropping back path,
Yeah.
and yeah, if you twist your ankle there, that's the end of your day. That's the end of your week, innit?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then we get to the campsite.
Yeah.
Decent pitch, amazing pints, amazing steak pie, wasn't it? We had
steak pie. Yeah, it was good. That.
cow steak. Facilities weren't that impressed, were we?
No, I was expecting more from. I mean, don't get me. As you said, you just said there the pub facility, the camping pitches were flat. Struggled to get our pegs in, but we found that on every campsite, didn't we? Because the
just
weather had been so nice.
Weeks, innit?
But yeah, the facilities were a bit. The toilet and the shower facilities were poor, I thought, to be honest.
Yeah, I did. Like, not much thought went into them. Whether like there was nowhere when you got a shower, there was nowhere to try and dry yourself without just being. There's nowhere to put your stuff or anything.
No,
And
they were
weird,
baking. It was like it was just full of steam.
it's like a
So
song
you had your shower and you got out and you were just
still soaking wet.
dripping with sweat, weren't you?
Yeah, but got our head down there. Got a
Yep.
decent grip in, didn't we? Got up in the morning, which was awkward. Like when you get up in the morning, they decide to like clean the toilets between like 7 and 9 when everyone's getting ready to go.
Exactly.
We had a bit of breakfast there, didn't we? Like
What did we? We had another
breakfast balm.
breakfast farm, didn't we? Yeah.
We did make porridge and stuff in the morning,
Yeah,
and I think we seen someone else having them before they went, and we thought, "Oh, sod it, we'll have one."
we did. Yeah.
That day was pretty good because tents were wet when they saw. I think we set off.
Yes, it was a damp morning that morning. With the way
Yeah,
the sun came up, you didn't get the sun till kind of. We wanted to be off before the sun came up and over where the tents were pitched.
yeah, so we were aware, weren't we?
Yeah.
But we did 4 mile, took a break, laid the tents out, dried them on.
It didn't take long, did it? 5
No,
minutes and they were dry.
not even that.
But we had a decent start, probably 20 minutes, didn't we?
Oh yeah, this was the day that you encounter those like iconic low bridges, aren't they? You know, like the
the tunnel under the railway line.
Yeah, so we went through them. This was a sneakily long day as well, wasn't it? I remember it being like
it was. Yeah, you didn't realise it. I think it was about 14 miles. Was it just over something like that?
yeah, but we sort of after the day before being like 21-ish, you think, oh, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's relatively flat in that, but there wasn't. There was a couple of steep pulls on it, and a couple of big downhill sections, and the last little drag of it where you sort of think you're going walking, you sort of cross a road and you think you're walking into town.
That's right, yeah.
And you're walking alongside of a river and you think it's just going to be here now, and it just goes on.
It does, yeah, for another couple of miles.
But apparently we missed out on the.
We banked on that. We banked on having something to eat, didn't we? That is it. The wigwam.
Yeah, and it was shut down.
It was all shut down.
campsite on your right hand side, across the bridge, there's some little hut. Is it the Flying Haggis or something?
Oh, is there? Oh, we missed that.
The other lads went to it. You know, the Scottish lads went,
Right.
and they said it was fantastic, smash burgers and all that. So we missed that.
Hey, up, Mr. Hostels on. Do you have OnlyFans?
Only intense. We so then what was that campsite, by the way?
By the way, yeah.
Yeah, by the way, campsite, which was decent, wasn't it? Pitches were good.
Yeah.
Facilities was a lot better, I thought, than Burn Glass.
I thought that was, I'd go as far as to say of the campsites we stopped in, I'd say that was the best one.
Yeah, probably. It was up there, wasn't it? And
yeah,
obviously just a 5-minute walk into town where we went to the Good Food Cafe and had some remarkable fish and chips.
Fish chips, mushy peas, a lot Lowman pale ale.
I know.
It's good.
Now, the bill wasn't for the faint-hearted, was it, for 2 fish and chips? But it was top quality. And I also thought, when I looked at a photo of that the other day, and looking at it on a photo, I thought, doesn't look
no, it
like
doesn't.
that amazing, but it did. It was really nice, wasn't it? And then I think getting there not too early, but we got there pretty early, didn't we? We'd been the pub. We must have had 5 pints. Went back, got ready, went and had a few more pints. Then we had some food.
Yeah.
Back to the pub again. So we were in the pub for another couple of hours. Sun went down. It was dark, wasn't it, when we got back?
It was, yeah.
And I think I sat outside with a couple of lads from the pub, drank too much gin.
Yeah.
And kamikaze me tent.
Which you did fail to mention on the video.
What, drinking all that gin?
Yeah. You just mentioned beers. You didn't tell everybody you'd had half a bottle of gin as well.
No. But I'm like that. You know, like, we've had a cracking day. Absolutely bladdered. We've had a great day. Great night. But yeah, waking up that next morning to find me in like that on my face, and like a meter long hole on the inside of me inner was a bit devastating. But we cracked on, didn't we? Because
and then so that was the
monster day, wasn't it?
The next big day, yeah, the other 20 miler.
Yeah, so, and it wasn't well advised to get so drunk. I was definitely feeling it when we started this hike, like this day, feeling a bit hungover. Yeah. We had cracking breakfast though.
Cracking breakfast in the Tyndrum Inn.
Tyndrum Inn, for a tenner or whatever it was. I thought it was mint. The Scottish lads thought it was poor, didn't they? But we thought it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, got some supplies from the Green Welly boot. Clear Gorilla Tape to fix the tent. And spent a fortune in there, some sweets, and we were off, weren't we? This was a long day.
Yeah, this was a long day.
I think we did 4 miles, stopped by a stream, laid the tents out.
Yeah, underneath, bent around, and we stopped and dried the tents off. I'd say I reckon we had a good half-hour stop there, to be honest.
Yeah, and it was needed, wasn't it? And then we had a bit of sustenance and some. I think I had a Monster and a protein bar or something, and then we cracked on again till lunchtime. Well, another 4 miles. We got to the Bridge of Orking.
Yeah.
That's where we had a couple of pints. That's where the guy serving was made up. He was like fist pumping me, and he's like, "Yes, someone's getting pints instead of bloody coffees. All we're doing is making coffee." And then I realised it was like 11:15, and that's why no one else was drinking. But yeah, we had a couple of pints there.
Drove to the top of Kirkstone past morning to meet the guy in torrential weather. Couldn't get out. I think Hostel is becoming the Clagmaster and not me.
No, I'm not. I don't think
I genuinely think he's taking over my mantle.
I think he's a cursed man.
So yeah, so we had
yours is there like that? It's a storm cloud.
So
I think
yeah,
he flags it. He's got like a grey wall in his house, and he just pretends that he's there.
yeah.
But yeah, so couple pints there, a bit of a steep over that hill.
Oh, straight after the 2 pints of cider, straight up
straight
to
on that hill,
straight up the hill,
and then
but the views there
this
were just amazing. Out to Loch Tuller, you start getting the views of Loch Tuller, and it's just from this moment in, the views just got. Oh yeah, there was only when we stopped at the Bridge of Orkney. I think we'd only done somewhere between 7.5, 8 miles.
That's what I mean. So we knew we had another like 12 mile, and that hill was a killer.
Yeah.
And then we got to that Roman road, which was like, well, not Roman road, but like,
the Drovers Road.
yeah, and it just went on. It was endless, wasn't it?
It did that road. It just did go, and it was gradual incline as well, wasn't it? For a
Just
quite a bit as well.
But it felt never ending, slightly uphill, torturous, and then, but it's a faff path as well in places, so you've got to watch where you're walking.
Yeah.
And then it just went on and on. But this was where it felt more remote, didn't it? Halfway across that, it's where you started to feel a little more remote.
Yeah, because I'd say this was probably that little section there, so the section between the Inveroran Hotel and King's House where we pitched for the night. I'd say that was probably the quietest section of the whole of the trail.
We've seen 3 people, I think, on that section.
Yeah, you did seem to. Once you got past that Inveroran Hotel, it's kind of like you saw the odd person, but there was nothing. You weren't in like a big train of people like you were for a lot of it. So you're right. You did. The remoteness was, I think, partly to do with the fact that because it's such a long day, everyone's a lot more spread out.
Yeah, people have got up early, people have gone off late, and it's just
yeah.
But 16 miles with a break in a little area,
like near that ruined cottage, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we had quick something to eat there, didn't we, and a drink, and then another 4. This is where I sent you ahead again, wasn't it? For a little while, but I caught you back up. You'd had a moment of yeah. So then, even from there, when you could see King's House, and you could see it for what felt like at least a week.
Yeah,
yeah. Closer for hours.
It just goes to show the vastness of Rannoch Moor, doesn't it?
Yeah, because you could see it, and it was like it's there where the trees are, and you could actually see the building. It's like,
why is it not any closer?
Thank God it's there. And then looked to like 45 minutes later, and I was like, why is it not here? Why is it still there? But yeah, that was a tough day.
So I mean, going back to tell anybody watching that when we knew that Sean Ewan and Alex were staying at the
ski centre,
Glencoe Ski Centre, the campsite, we tried getting in there, didn't we? But there was no room at the end; they were full. So we had to bat on to our original plan of the extra mile down to the King's House.
Yeah, camp behind the King's House.
But when we got on the way to the King's House, we passed the only deer we saw on the trip.
Yeah.
And then, but that pitch at the King's House made me think that I'm so glad that campsite at Glencoe Ski Centre was full.
Yeah, because it was just to die for. And
everybody left us with the 2 best pitches, and we rocked up late.
Everyone thinks, oh, I want to be by the water. But ultimately, what you're doing there is blocking yourself out from the sun and getting absolutely
And
hit to death.
the breeze, the sun, the breeze.
Yeah,
Yeah,
getting missed out. So what I would say, which was I found surprising, was I found that the King's House was quite accommodating for height.
I was under the impression that they kind of like they treated the West Island Way walkers a bit like, or wild campers a bit like lepers.
Yeah, I thought that was staying.
And
But
that just was not the case, was it? It was.
no,
They had the
we
little
are.
walkers bar.
Yeah.
And then what did we have? Did we have a couple of sandwiches? Or we got some
A couple of sandwiches, a couple of pints.
And that was it then, really. Again, it was a long day. We didn't get to the. We didn't. I don't think we got to the campsite till 7 o'clock.
I was going to say it was 7. It was after 6. I think we'd wanted to get there about 6, and it was more nearer to 7.
It was pushing 7 o'clock, I think. So by the time we'd found our pitches, got the tents pitched, got sorted.
Yeah, it was quite loud. Yeah, what I would say to people is there's a bunkhouse showers at King's House, which you can use, and toilet, but you need all your own stuff. And even the toilet, take your own toilet paper and all that, because it's not like.
And don't expect a warm shower.
Oh yeah, it's refreshing.
It's kind of a semi-camp, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not paying to pitch the tent. You have got the facility. You have got toilet and shower facilities, but they are very, very basic.
Yeah. So pints there.
But you're getting them for free, aren't you? So you're not paying a penny to use them. So I suppose it's a case of beggars can't be choosers, isn't it? Really. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah. We had a couple of pints and a couple of sandwiches. Got back to the tent, which we were looking up at. This mountain here, isn't it? Because here's where we were
looking up at the buckle.
Up at the buckle. So this is the night I couldn't shut my tent door, and I lay there till about 11:30, I think, with tent door open, my little candles burning, and just sat looking at the skyline, listening to the birds and stuff, and then gorgeous night's sleep. Earliest start, but we got into the King's House, didn't we, and had a cheeky full English breakfast.
Again, after the big day, the 20-mile day, we kind of knew that the day 6, the next day, was going to be, in terms of distance wise, it was no distance at all, really, was it? Was it 9 mile?
9, 10 mile, wasn't it?
So again, we let the tents dry out, didn't we, and packed up, and then went down to the hotel for breakfast, thinking, how much is this going to cost us? And for a tenner,
that was
unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
A bit of a one of everything breakfast, wasn't it? But you could have had
porridge as well. Yeah.
So I thought it was banging. And that was one thing I took away from it. I think I'd watched other people's videos and got the impression that you were sort of frowned upon at the King's House, where I didn't feel that at all. I thought that
not at all.
There were plenty of walkers there. People were respectful. People were chatty.
Yeah.
They served you. You know what I mean? They took your money. No one. I went to the toilet in the hotel a couple of times, and no one's questioned.
Because you had to go into the main hotel, didn't you?
Yeah, so you walk through reception and stuff, and no one questioned you or anything.
No.
And so a cracking spot in it, and then we were off for our 9 miler, weren't we?
9 mile. I think we set off about. What time was it? About somewhere between 10 and 10:30, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's a flattish walk until you get to the bottom of
the Devil's Staircase. Yeah,
which is a scary name for a not very big hill.
No, it's not as bad as what the name suggests. It's something really hard and strenuous. And that's were we up 45 minutes from top to top, something like that. And that wasn't batting, because on the West Ham way you can't bat on because you're forever stopping and taking pictures.
Yeah, we took a lot of pictures.
So,
but the Devil's Staircase was about. Said there's a story, wasn't there? There was a group of navvies that made the way from Kinloch Leaben over the pass to go to the King's House, and they perished on the path, and that's why they called it the Devil's Staircase.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so the views at the top.
Oh, because you've got
some at best.
You've got the Memorial Range and Ben Nevis straight in front of you, and that's the first time you actually see Ben Nevis, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can kind of see the end, which is miles away. And then you look behind you, and you can still see into Glencoe.
Yeah, it was phenomenal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we turned that corner.
And that was it. And there you're about halfway into this leg if you're doing what we're doing and just going to Kinloch Leaben. So,
yeah,
pretty much it's downhill all the way from there, because it's obviously the highest point on the trail. So it's, I mean, where we stopped, we had 2 or 3 decent breaks, didn't we? Because we didn't want to get to the campsite too early, did we? We didn't want to kind of get there too early and then not allow us to set up. And the earlier we got there, the earlier we would have been in the pub.
We sort of learned from that mistake, the Tyndrum mistake, wasn't it? And yeah, we sort of tried to eke it out a bit, didn't we, and not rush to get there too early, which we did manage, really.
We got there about 2:45, I think.
Yeah.
And the good thing about that was when we got there, there's quite a few people who got there before us, but they wouldn't allow them to set up, would they? So they had to go into the town. I think Alex, Ewan and Sean had to go into the town for a couple of beers and then come back, by which point we got the two decent spots.
Yeah.
First 2 pitches in the little grass area, right by all the amenities.
Yeah. I think looking back at that, I might have pitched a little bit further away from that. But it was probably the flattest
from the wonky paving slab.
Wonky pavement slab. Lights that kept coming on and off. Guy next to me sounded like he was going to die. It was like, I must have had 45 minutes sleep. But we went into town.
A few beers at the trail racing.
Yeah, trail racing, whatever it's called. Rice and chips.
Rice and chips, recommended by Liam. Top class.
Yeah. Good bloke outdoors, Liam there. He recommended it on his video, didn't he? So we're off there.
All I would say about rice and chips is if you're wanting to eat about 10 o'clock, make sure you get your order in about 7:30.
Yeah, it was one of them. I think we ordered, didn't we, and had about 4 more pints.
We did, yeah. We all drunk up, headed over, got our order in at the Chinese, and then went back to the pub, had another 2 or 3 pints before collecting our food.
Yeah, but yeah, so we took that back to the campsite, didn't we? And this was the second time we got ate by midges.
Yes. Yeah, they were bad. We had to take it into the tent eventually, didn't we?
Yeah. I went into the tent and lit my little midgie candles and ate it there, and it was sound. But another cracking day and another cracking night.
Yeah.
So,
Phil was up Ben Nevis last weekend in a blizzard. I don't believe you, Phil. There's no bad weather in Scotland. What bad weather in Scotland?
Congratulations to Phil, because he did the 3 Peaks challenge.
Oh, did he? Oh, well done, mate. Brilliant stuff.
Drove the whole thing and everything.
Bloody hell.
I mean, some of his mates. So congratulations to Phil. Did it within the allotted 24 hours and everything.
Oh, great effort. Great effort.
Still the fell runner there, smashing it. There he goes, 22 hours 50. Some effort that.
Good effort that is.
Driving all the way as well.
I know, yeah.
So yeah, so that was we got up early the next morning. So that's this is the last morning.
Yeah, because we didn't want to. Again, it was a big day in the end. I mean, I think was it about 16 mile, I think, in total in the end. But we thought it'd be about 14 and a half, and that's something to tell people. This West Island Way, 96 miles. It's a myth.
Yeah, I had 102.
I was around the same 101.9 or something like that.
And I mean, obviously we done, but I was only walking. I was only starting it at camp and finishing it at camp.
Yeah.
And the only extra that I had on that you didn't have was the first half a mile.
Yeah.
In McGull.
Yeah.
Small guy, and but yeah, what can't you not underestimate, Dave? When you're leaving Kinloch Leaving,
Oh, the steep pull out of Kinloch Leaving.
you can't underestimate it, mate.
No, you can't. That is the thing. I would say that is more of a thing than the Devil's Staircase.
Oh, it was infinitely tougher.
Yeah.
But I think we got away with it because we knew about it. People had warned us. We were pre-warned. But yeah, the pull out of Kinloch Leaving up the zigzag path was a bit of a killer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bit of a killer.
But
we started
when you get near the top and it opens out and you can see back down into Kinloch Leaving, you can see the Papa Glencoe and
the lock.
Yeah, to the Ballachulish Hills, and just amazing. It just blows your mind.
Another one where you look back at it and you think the view is phenomenal. You take pictures and you make videos, but it just does no justice to it. You just can't see the town. You know what I mean? On video, or on film, or on a camera, you just can't see how amazing it looks. But yeah, that was the tough part over, wasn't it? Really, for this day.
Yeah, it was really. It was just the length you had left, really.
Yeah. We, in my mind, somehow, I'd always thought that the last day was going to be 14 miles. It was over 16. And it just.
Hey, up, Chris, how you doing, mate? Fresh from his cruise.
Wish I'd been on a bloody cruise. But yeah, so we cracked on now. It flattens out, doesn't it? And it's just the longest path ahead that just stretches out into the distance.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a faff path as well, and it's quite rocky and mess about. This is where I had my massive tumble on it. Bent my sticks and everything. Nearly kiffed it walking downhill.
How are the? How is the stick?
I've straightened it.
Have you?
It's not perfect, but like it's straight, but it's sort of like straight because it's like kink one way and then the other.
Right. Okay.
It is.
Can you push it back in? Can you push it back in, or is it?
No, it's a bit longer than the other one, but it's usable. It'll do with tent.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I looked up, didn't I, be the board or something we were looking at, kicked a and decided rather than chew the floor, I bailed out into the side grass, didn't I? And ended up rolling down, stuck on my back. I know, I was just like
your backpack, you couldn't get up, you couldn't right yourself, and you were just like, get me up.
Yeah. It was awful, wasn't it? And then I was lucky really because I could have twisted an ankle there, and that would have been like
you could, yeah, because you still had, I'd say 6 mile left, more probably.
But yeah, we fired off after that. Went past that cool abandoned building, over a little hill, and then that's when we could see Ben Nevis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It looked stunning on the day, didn't we? Because obviously we're having clear skies. Being able to see Ben Nevis like that was awesome, wasn't it?
Well, I remember when I was on holiday a few years back in Scotland when we were up on the boat, and I remember somebody saying, on average, you get to see the top of Ben Nevis. The top of Ben Nevis is clear on average about between 50 and 60 days a year.
Yeah, and we got them.
So, you know, Sam Mossy, were you just thrashing the night, or did you fight your tent? It was alcohol-induced.
I think I've had the tent when I ruined it. I think I had the inner on too tight, and I've rolled over and pulled it down. And I don't know how I put my hand through its side, but it's it, wasn't it? But yeah. So past Ben, this is one that will catch people out and people should know about. When you go past Ben Nevis, you get onto like a forestry path that takes you down.
Oh, that's just, yeah.
A whitish gravelly path or
yeah.
And
it's like it's like a forestry track, isn't it, where the wagons use, and it just goes on forever.
And even when you get to the road and you think, right, that's it, that it goes on.
Yeah,
it's a long drag into Fort William.
It is. It's it's the last. I'd say the last 3 or 4 miles just seem a lot longer than 3 or 4 mile.
Yeah, it's a slog, but yeah, we cracked on, didn't we? Obviously pushed on. Even I would say getting to the high street. It's at the very end of the high street, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another. It's just so long.
It is. It's probably from when you hit the high street. It's probably a third of a mile, maybe half a mile before you actually get to the end point, isn't it?
Yeah, but we got there. We got up there, and you know, next to Weatherspoons, that's where the famous man with the sore feet is on his bench. And we got up there, didn't we? And tapped out on the sign. Got our photos on the bench. I mean, the end of I think we've done 3, and the end of them, you have a real sense of achievement, don't you? I know.
Oh, yeah.
Some long day hikes that we've done at the end of 4. We've done well there, but finishing like a multi-day hike, there is something about it, isn't there?
Well, yeah, there is, because you don't, I mean, if you can think back to the infamous, what do you call it, watershed that we did in the lakes, which was a 20 mile, pushing 20 miles. But yeah, the Newlands watershed. But the day after, we didn't have another 12, 15 mile to do.
No. So that is that one in it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So you have a sense of achievement, and like, it's weird because you wait for something for a year, and you enjoy every minute of it, but ultimately you're trying to finish it, aren't you? Like,
oh, yeah.
And when you finish, you've got this sense of achievement, but then it's like it's sort of sad as well because it's over. You're not getting up in the morning.
Yeah. You're not getting up in the morning and putting your backpack on, and your backpack. We said it, didn't we? Your backpack becomes part of you, and you actually feel more achy and sore when it's not on your bag, on your back.
Yeah,
kind of like you get up in the morning and you think, oh my god, oh, I'm aching. As soon as you get that pack on, you're away, aren't you?
Yeah.
Bizarre. It's really bizarre feeling.
Yeah. So we finished it. The man with the sore feet, got our photos and everything. Met some friends that didn't
away. 3 o'clock, didn't we? About 3 o'clock.
So we went there, and we had a few pints in the Weatherspoons. Went and got checked in, showered and changed, and went back out. We met the lads. We met the Scottish lads for a curry.
Yeah,
which was fantastic. Beautiful food.
Great curry. Yeah.
It's just up the road, isn't it? From the end. I can't remember the name of it. Tandoori also.
Spice tandoori or tandoori spice, something like that.
Yeah. I thought the food was great there.
Yeah, could well recommend that. And it's literally just where the end is of the West Highland Way, about another 50 yards on the right hand side.
Yeah, so finished off in Wetherspoons, did we? Went back with the lads. We had some pictures with the lads. Went in Wetherspoons. Little WhatsApp group got set up, didn't it, between the five of us. And we sank a few more pints because it was dirt cheap in there. There was no West Highland Way tax anymore, was there? It run out.
But, it was mad, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like $2.40 a pint or something, wasn't it? And you've been paying. But off to Premier Inn, wasn't it? For a night in the Premier Inn, which was fine. What I would say is, I think if I did it again, I wouldn't get the train. We got the bus, didn't we? Because there was no train.
Yeah.
Full. Yeah. And the bus journey home the next morning, 7 a.m. was there on time, or 7:10.
Yeah.
It was a 3-hour bus journey, which didn't seem that long.
Oh.
Views were amazing, and it was like going along the route you've just done in reverse in a coach. It was amazing, wasn't it?
Well, I loved it. It was Alex that put us onto the bus, wasn't it? Because we were going to get the train. The train follows pretty much the same route, but the train is 4 hours 20 minutes. It's 3 stops, and it's more expensive than the coach. And it's a proper. It's not a bus, is it? It's
a luxury
to clean as anything.
There's toilets on it and everything.
It's cheaper than the train. It's direct into Glasgow, and it takes an hour and 10 minutes less.
Yeah, I think it's an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah, definitely.
I would recommend that 100% to
get the bus. Get the City Link, isn't it?
Yeah, so we got the City Link, which was I want to say was it 30 quid for both of us?
Pardon?
Was it about 30 quid for the two of us?
About 36. No, about 36. I think it was about 30 quid each.
Was it?
And the train would have been about 36, 38 quid.
Ah, right. That was it then.
Yeah. I think one ticket, I bought the 2 tickets, and I think one was slightly more than the other for some reason, but we just split the cost. I think it worked out about 29, 30 quid. Yeah. Whereas the train was 36, 38. So that's what I'm saying. It's cheaper than the train and an hour and 10 minutes less, and it's direct to Glasgow. Whereas the train, you needed 3 stops, including the one to Mulgai.
Yeah. So and then Uber from the coach, come up the coach station, the bus station, Queen Street. So I went on Uber and the guy was literally waiting over the road, wasn't
he? Yeah. And what was it? 12, 13 quid, something like that.
12 quid or something.
Yeah.
And so we smashed that.
But it's worth just making people aware that if you do stop in the Premier Inn in Mulgai, you can leave your car there all week. You can leave your keys with them. They'll put them in the safe. All they ask is for a donation to the local children's hospice charity. Which is unbelievable. So yeah, that if you want to leave your car somewhere safe, Premier Inn, they'll keep your keys safe, and all you do is pop a donation into the charity tin that's by the reception.
Fantastic.
So, really good that, because I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to have to pay. But I wasn't expecting my money to go to charity, which was...
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a 25, 30 quid charge by the hotel.
What's Phil saying? Do the Caledonian sleeper, bit of luxury. Oh, yeah, but you miss everything then when you're asleep, Phil.
Yeah. Couldn't sleep for 4 hours. When I've just got up at 7 in the morning. Right, so amazing trip, wasn't it? I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd definitely do it again. And now this is where I'm going to get onto this. So I think it was Mad About Scotland dropped me a message saying, "Can you suggest what would you change if you could change anything about the trip? Do you know afterwards? Like if you could do it again, what would you change?"
Well, I know, I wouldn't change it to do it on a bike. So you can
Yeah.
tell Don. So there's one answer, Donny.
I said, the trip that we had, that we did, the
Yeah.
route that we planned, I wouldn't change anything that we did. I loved
No.
every minute of it. I said if I did it again,
A,
contemplate
a
baggage
couple of
transfer.
yeah, baggage transfer or a couple of proper wild camps, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, baggage transfer. A lot of people seem to be doing baggage transfer, didn't they?
Yeah, and I like if it was cheap enough, I'd consider it because I've already done it. I would consider if I wanted, if you did it with family or
Yeah,
missus or something, I would consider that. There's definitely like I would go back and I would do it staying in hotels with
yeah,
day bags. I would go back and do it wild camping all the way. I'd go back and try it, in 5 days instead of 7. I would try. I'd go back. I reckon I could do it another 4 or 5 times and find a different way to do it.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think the weather spoilt it for us a little bit as a return voyage.
We we said that, didn't we? We're kind of like it's kind of like in more ways than one we've completed the West Island Way
Yeah,
because if we'd have done it and it had been really really crap weather, you think, well, I've got to do it again because I want to do it in decent weather.
yeah.
But with us having the weather that we did, it's kind of like
You'll never get that weather. You'd think to yourself, at best, it could only be the same. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, so like phenomenal weather. So that was I know that. So that was my answer to that question. He said, if you could change anything, what would you
yeah.
change? I say nothing. I would do it again, different.
No,
I
no.
don't
I
know if you
think
got any questions. No, Chris. Chris asked
no,
me.
I wouldn't really. I'd just say baggage transfer would be um,
An option.
an option. Um, but yes, but no, I don't think I would really. I think it's difficult because the only thing you could change is try and do it in less days. I don't think you could do it in more days because then you'd be then having some really short days, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
less days. I think the
I
way
don't
we
think,
did it, the way we did it with the 7 days, we weren't hammering it.
yeah,
At no point really were we're going with oh shit, we've got to get a move on because we need to get here by such and such a time.
no, it's very chill, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I've seen people do it. Like I know Steve and Kate who watched their video. They did our first 2 days in their
Oh,
one day.
nice.
Yeah,
And I talked to him. I thought that was phenomenal effort.
yeah, that's
Not
a
a chance
effort
I could
that.
do that. Not a chance. But Chris asked, uh, if you did it again, would you take the high route? Now I don't know if that's the high route going past Loch Lomond, because I don't think that makes much difference, or if there is a genuine high route.
I was under the impression, and I think a lot of people are, that when you take the high route, you kind of you miss all of the rocky path section by Loch Lomond, and you
Yeah,
don't because
no,
the main majority of the main the majority of the real tough section is north of the Inversnaid Hotel, and the high
yeah,
path doesn't miss that out. Uh,
no,
it misses out a bit of a rocky section. It does miss out that. The only way I'd possibly, and we discussed this, didn't we? If the weather was rubbish and the cloud was down and there wasn't any views and you just wanted to bat
that's
on,
all.
you could take the high route for and it's 2-3 miles, but you're literally, Chris, you're literally in the middle of the forest. So you'd miss out on any, if the weather was nice, you'd miss out on any views, I think, taking the high route, because you are literally, it's a track through the forest. So it'd be an option if the weather was poor and you just wanted to bash out 2 or 3 quick miles, but it was never going to be an option. When we had the weather we did, it was never going to be an option, was it?
I think there was a couple of things that we decided before we set off, wasn't there? It was like, if the weather's good and there's views, we're going over Conic Hill and we're going to take the low path. So so like ultimately, amazing experience.
Yeah.
Like, tougher implications than I thought. Learned
I would
to
recommend anybody thinking of doing it, just do it.
What I would say to anyone is, I would try, if you could, to go early May, or like end of April, early May, or maybe end of September or something like that.
Yeah, because
the midges is going to be much of an issue.
The midges can make they can ruin it, can't they? They can make life unbearable. I think we managed to do it just before the mid-season started, so
yeah.
So
I will try.
The people need to know, do it in the second week in May, because you always get good weather.
Well, I was going to say, I think early May and late September, mid-September.
Yeah.
In the UK nowadays, you do kind of get decent weather.
You do,
so I'm going to look to do something in September maybe, but yeah, fantastic. I loved every minute of it. Next one's organised for May.
Not quite, but it won't be far off. Another couple of months, and that'll be only one campsite and a Canic, and I think that's pretty much, you can just rock up there.
Yeah.
And then the other 2-3 nights it'll be wild camping. So yeah, that'll be an easier one to organise, but it'll be done. Don't worry about that, mate.
You'll have to tell the people. Give them a sneak preview, Dave. Tell the people what's happening next May.
Oh, we're doing the African Tailway.
There you go.
So yeah, 3 or 4 days. We haven't decided yet. It's only about 45, 46 miles. So, but like we said, if you're up there in the nice weather and you've got views, why do you want to rush?
No.
Why do you want to out and you're just looking at your feet all the time, just so you can get it done in some sort of record-breaking time?
No, at the end of the day, I think me and you have the same opinion, that it's our holiday and we're there to enjoy it, so we'll take our time.
Yeah.
So not everyone's got, people might only have, 3 days annual leave and they try and fit it in. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
the way we do it, I enjoy. You know what I mean? I mean, we did sort of take the mick on this one. We caught it did turn into like a 100-mile pub crawl, didn't it? That's what it felt like. But it was like we turn national trails into foodie holidays.
yeah.
Because that's what it felt. Cumbria felt the same. Just felt like a foodie holiday.
We must be the only 2 people to go on a multi-day hike and put weight on.
2 years running. But yeah, absolutely every minute of it. And I'd like to take this opportunity, why Dave's on, to thank Dave, because Dave does all the leg work. He does all the
don't worry.
When it comes to organising.
I enjoy it. Part of the planning of any walk or any hike, I think the planning for me is just as enjoyable as actually doing it. I enjoy it. Even when we go out for a day walk or something, I like getting the maps out and plotting the routes and everything. I find that as enjoyable as doing the walk itself. So the camp or whatever. So,
there you go.
My pleasure, mate.
You should be thanking me then.
Exactly. Well, thank you anyway for joining us. It's class. It's nice to do. I'm sure you see a lot of people doing these things on their own, but it is nice to do it with with your mates. So
yeah,
top
it's
class.
nice to share an experience with like-minded people in it. So
yeah, and that's the good thing about the trail is you're seeing the same people over and over again, because you'll stop for a faff or a drink they'll pass you and then they'll stop and you pass them, and invariably you meet up with them again at the campsite and you talk about what you've done the day and how the day went and where you stopped and who you saw, and it's top class. It's really, really, really good.
amazing. What I would say is, so Dave's got so all the videos are on YouTube now. So my YouTube channel, you're obviously on. Dave's will be linked, as I've mentioned him in the description. So all the videos for the whole trail are already on. Dave's got a what's in the bag video for everything he took. I have not filmed mine yet because I've got a lot going on at the minute with work and moving house and things like that. So mine will come at some point, but I'm prioritising going out on a camp as soon as I can, really. But yeah, after my what's in the bag, that's probably the end of the West Highland Way sort of content, innit? But what I love about this thing that we do with YouTube is that we've got that now forever. So in 20 years, we can still watch this week.
That's right, yeah.
You know what I mean? This week that we had in the start of May in 2025, we can go back and watch it again, and all those memories are there. So
That's right.
Makes it worthwhile doing the actual videos, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cheers,
there you
Chris.
go.
Much appreciated.
Absolutely beautiful. Cheers, mate.
Right.
What else? We'll sign off there, I reckon, because
We've
we've had a
waffled on.
we've had a good output on it. But if you watch the videos and you have any questions, just mine or Dave's video, you're watching it. If you've got any questions, just put it in the comments, and we reply to all the comments on all our videos that we make.
Yeah, we don't get many, so we've got time to reply to them all.
Please comment. I'm lonely. Comments. So yeah, as I said before, thanks Dave for joining me.
No problem. Thanks, mate.
As always, organising these adventures. I'm not sure yet. Me and Dave haven't got anything planned at the minute, but I'm sure we'll get something in the near future. Maybe I'll have to go to
coming up to holidays and stuff and trips away, so it's nothing's falling right at the moment. When you're free, I'm not, and when I'm free, you're not.
Yeah, so I might have to come to Forest of Bowling for a midweeker or something one week. But the yeah, I'm sure we'll be back out soon enough.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
The year is young.
So go on, Dave. I'll let you say goodbye before I.
Well, I'd just like to thank everyone for taking the time to watch and comment on both our videos. It means a hell of a lot. I mean, I still can't believe that 300, nearly 400 people now actually subscribe, and not all of them watch, but a lot of them watch, and it's really appreciated. I know, Mossy, you're over 1,500 now, so
just nearly 16 now today.
Flying.
So
yeah, I just want to thank everybody for watching, and as you said, if anybody's got any questions about West Highland Way or any long distance walking and any tips or hints, we've got plenty in the knowledge bank now to share it with people.
Yeah. So I'd like to just say, if you are contemplating doing the West Highland Way, do it. Plan it. Decide on your fitness level, what you can achieve in a day, and go from there. I think doing it over 7 days made it more manageable and an experience that you could enjoy rather than a challenge to endure. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there's
and also anybody who's you don't need any map reading. The trail's well marked.
Yeah.
It's a busy trail, so there's always people going where you're the same direction as you. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, I don't know how to. What if I get lost? You can't get lost, really, can you? So
No.
you've not got that worry.
So there you go. If you've any thoughts on it, just go and do it. Get on Facebook. There's a brilliant West Highland Way tips and tricks page, which is awesome. Go on that, give that a go. But if you're thinking about doing it, just go and do it.
Yeah,
because it's mega.
It is. It's mega. Absolutely. Couldn't describe it better myself.
Nice. So I'll sign off with, as always, while you're in our national parks, make memories not mess, leave no trace. And me and Dave will see you in the next one.
All the best, guys. See you later. Ta-da.